welcome to Success Coaching Live. Today we have a Fun Friend Friday. So we're going to be having a guest join us here in just a minute. As you can see, we went back out on a bit of a location. So I hope you tune in and say hello. Our friends should be jumping in here in just a minute. And as you log in, on your Fun Friend Friday. Thank you guys. I see Joe is here. Joe, what do you think of the backdrop? Good morning, Deborah. Don't you love it, Deborah? So this is just on the other side. So good morning, Dr. Holly Kelly. See, I have to keep, you set the plan, Dr. Kelly. When you came on and part of the show, I had to go someplace different. And now I feel like if I don't honor the rest of the guests the same, I could end up in trouble. Thank you, Deb. It is beautiful, beautiful day. This is a time of year that everybody waits for, and so we take every chance we can to jump out. Now, our guest should be joining in here in just a minute. Good morning, Joe. I don't see Lisa, gorgeous backdrop. So I'll step over here so you can see. So Melanie, welcome, Melanie. Now let me just do a quick swipe. Melanie should be joining us here in just a minute with some special guests. So Melanie is a friend of mine, and Melanie loves sailing. Melanie has a sailboat, so that's why I thought, I got to go down someplace where Melanie will feel relaxed and comfortable. So Melanie, are you able to make sure your phone is turned this way and not this way? And then ask Dr. Kelly for help. Just do it this way and then accept invites, and we should be good to go. Double check. Let's see where I'm able to log in or tell me what's going on. You don't even know that. How little thoughtful. Yeah, good morning, Michael and Michelle. This is, so, I don't know, we're really like right up from the yacht club on the other side. So, let me do this. I think I got her. I think she should be jumping on. Good morning, Dr. Kelly. Good morning, Joe. I'm trying to make sure Melanie gets on. I just invited her again as a guest, so she should be, too much swiping. There we go. Let me try this. Are you here? Inviting and inviting and inviting. Good morning, Lisa. We do not have chocolate brownies, but we do have sailboats and beautiful weather, so ha-ha. So how is this, Miss Melanie? Did I do okay?
Hi. Yeah, I think I can get this. I was on my computer. And,
okay, we need a little more volume from you.
All the way. Can you hear me now?
It's kind of dim. I don't know. Maybe it's me. Is everybody else okay? I'm out here in the wind on a headset. So, where are you at? Are you in your boat?
No, I am. Unfortunately, it's too cold for that right now. But I'd love to be where you are.
Well, so here, let me give you some boats. So as you might know, my friend Melanie is all about the sailing. So let me give her just a little taste. There's a couple tall ones, a couple short ones, a couple fat ones, a couple long ones. That's about the extent of my knowledge. That's all I can tell you. I'm not the sailing boating guy. Here, there's some more for you. Do you have one back here that you'd like me to pick up for you?
Anyone that has a mast. It's all about the
all about the mast. Anything that's like this and not like this in the water.
I know.
Well, I appreciate you. Yes, we can hear Mel. Good. Like I said, it may be these. These are not my favorite headphones, but they were the ones I grabbed on my way out the door. So Mel and I have yet to meet in person, but Mel has been in every city that I've been, and yet she still has more to discover of places that I've been that she doesn't even know I've been yet, and she's going there. And how did we first meet?
So intentionally set myself up for, oh my gosh, we're going to lead a mastermind from so we can learn about it and actually experience it. As I was blogging on the John Maxwell website, yours truly, Reid, said, gosh, can I crash your mastermind? and I, of course, because I'm a connector, said, well, absolutely, because you can teach us. And so we just started our journey through really Facebook and through Zoom and Mastermind and learning really the vision of growth. And so through that journey, it has been just kind of live our life, live our purpose and try to figure out what our mission statements are. And Eric's always holding us accountable. So,
no, don't make me all that. Don't make me all that. I just find a place to lean. I'm leaning against this railing and I feel the wind. I'm like, any minute now. So y'all, if you see me flip, it means the real what was funny was, pardon?
I want to be where you are.
So in Uruguay, we sort of live on a bit of a peninsula. And so we live on the Brava side, and this is the Mensa side, and it's a little more enclosed for boys, which is why all the sailboats are here. And so if I took you out to the street, there's about a 5-block gap. And so if you stand on the top of the hill, you can look down onto the Bravo side or down onto the Mensa side beaches. And it's so fun when I get to drive through town because I'm like doing this at every intersection to see which one has the best view at both angles. Because someday I'll probably drop a house right in the middle of it and block traffic. But it is a wonderful thing. We have this ramble where everybody just gets up and walks every morning or throughout the day and looks at the sailboat. And we just had the World Cup here. They left here and went to, I think they're on their way to South Africa, or I think that's the direction. So they were here for about 2 weeks. And when they typically visit a city, they'll host events and the sponsors will be here because that's part of building the World Cup. And then we'll have sailing lessons and some of the smaller boats will do some tacking and practicing throughout the week. And, just they've got a couple days off and they want to make sure the ship is ready before they head out into the open. And so it was wonderful to see all of these world-class ships, boats, I don't know the proper term, here in the port with their big sails from all over the world. And then on the day that they left, pretty much the whole town had to shut down to wish them off. And so everybody from all the schools and everywhere just came down and stood along the Rambla and looked out and watched them head off onto their next leg of the World Cup. So it was kind of exciting. I mean, for a non-sailor friend like me.
Someday we're going to get you on our boat if you come to the US.
I've told you my fear of that. So one of the things that we love doing on Fun Day Friday with friends is we do leadership lessons. Now, Mel and I have been together on a couple things. Like I said, I stormtrooped or crashed into her 15 laws class, and she was gracious enough to put up with me. And then we've sort of done some other little, other people have branched off and done masterminds or training some webinars. And it's always fun to get her perspective on things because, I mean, that's the best part of having a network of friends like this is I think one thought and then I'll be hanging out and they'll say something and I'll be like, oh my gosh, I've never heard it that way. Or I've never understood it that way. And so when you have the opportunity to hang out with smarter people, my mother said always show up and shut up so you can learn something. I've done good with the show up. Some days the shut up part, that's a little hard for me. So as you know, so do you have any questions before we start Fun Day Friday?
Oh my gosh, there's actually cards. This is awesome. No, I'm ready.
All right, so be very scared. Be very scared. So Dr. Holly Kelly, no, Nathan was the first to jump in, then Dr. Holly Kelly jumped in, then Lisa was there last week. So I think it's now become an official Fun Day Friday requirement that we have the Lucky Charms envelopes. And to tell you a little bit about the Lucky Charms envelopes, so when I set this up, I knew that I wouldn't be able to like have you guys read words because they would be backwards because Facebook, you know. Some days I have an intelligent moment. So we use the Lucky Charms cereal symbols to help identify in each envelope. And inside each envelope is like a leadership word. Sometimes it's expansion, desire, contribution, trade-offs, legacy. Words that we use in our vocabulary as leaders and from 15 laws of leadership to help guide people into their better growth. And so then what we do, see, I feel like I'm setting this up. Like we should now be doing like, I'm behind curtain number 7, or on boat number 3 is your lucky win. So then we take those and we ramble them up and scramble them up and we shove them in the envelope so nobody knows, not even me, what's in which envelope. Melanie hasn't had a chance to practice. And so now she gets to pick her envelope. And so like I always have to do, I have to read them. And see, this, I'm going to teach you guys like the behind the scene thing. So I wrote the names of the envelopes on the back so that when I'm showing them to the camera, I can look down here in the room and say, Orange Star. See, these are the things you have to learn to do to set yourself up for success. You also wish the wind would slow down. Yellow Moon. We have Green Clover. I'm trying not to let them go away because I don't want to. Green Clover. I'm going to be a little more cautious. Blue Diamond, Pink Hearts, Green Hearts, and Rainbow. Oddly enough, we have to be back down here tomorrow for National Beach Clean, where everybody takes like a spot on the beach. We have to spend the whole day, the part of the country National Beach Clean Day. So if it does blow away, I'll probably be cleaning tomorrow. So which envelope would you like? Yellow Star, or I'm sorry, Orange Star, Yellow Moon, Green Clover, Purple Heart, Rainbow. Now, Dr. Kelly thought if she got a heart, it would be like an easy one.
Not.
And then I think Lisa did the rainbow. So, you know, feel free. There is no good word about it.
Let's go with the Green Clover.
Green Clover. Because she hung out in a few Irish pubs in Minneapolis, I'm sure. So I'm going to go over here. Y'all, I put this away so it doesn't blow. All right. So we have a Green Clover. Do we get... So yeah, I love this.
I'm nervous now.
What is really good is Dr. Kelly's like, go, girl, go. Go, girl, go. You'll be fine. Go get it. I did it. Nobody got harmed in the process. Well, I want to warn all of you that I am not a single body. When I wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning, I do not go back to sleep. I finished that idea. And so I woke up at 5 a.m. this morning with an idea. And the idea was to trade out the leadership words for sailing terms.
Oh, great.
And then see how you could, oh, this is a good one. See how you can incorporate sailing or nautical terms into a leadership lesson, or why it's valuable both on a boat and in our lives. So are you ready for your word?
I am ready.
Do you need to call Joe in from the other room? Like, Captain Joe, I need your help.
He is here. He's close. I can call him for help.
So your leadership word, can you see it? It's backwards, I know, but it's rudder.
It says rudder. Oh my gosh, I love that word.
And so for those of people that have never left land, the rudder located beneath the boat, the water is, no, I'm going to let you explain it. I don't want to instep on your leadership lesson. So I want you to take the word rudder, and I want you to tell us first, maybe in a sailing term, and then how would this apply to our leadership journey and lessons? And I put it back in my pocket so it doesn't blow away.
Oh, this is so great. All right, so the rudder on a boat actually helps you get in the water and allow a direction for the waves are strong, if the current is strong, you need to set your course in a particular, so say I'm going from Chicago, that has a particular direction. waves. If the waves are strong, if the wind is strong, then we have to change the direction of that rudder so that we can get to our destination. So,
wait a minute. So the rudder I have to jump in. So when I go like this means like, wait a minute, I think I heard something I got to learn. This is like my brain woke up. So the rudder gives feedback?
The rudder gives feedback. It keeps you on course. You can actually manage your rudder to get you into the direction that you need to go. So you have to pay attention to the rudder. Now, our first sailboat had a manual stick to control the rudder with. And what was interesting about that as a sailor, you sit on the boat and you have to hold your hand and manually control that rudder. On our sailboat that we have now, we have a steering wheel. And it does the same thing, but it gives you a different option. So you kind of upgrade how much control or how easy you can now control your direction.
So leadership lesson. So
Leader.
when you begin, you need to have your hand more manually attached to the rudder to learn what that feedback is and to be more tactically in touch with it. And as your ship grew and as your experience grew, you were able to build distance between the physical attachment to the rudder, but you still had a tool to manage it and monitor that feedback.
Yeah, you have to be able to adapt to the wind, right? So anything that happens in the environment causes you to be stronger, to make an adjustment in your day, to make an adjustment in your attitude. All of this is controlled in sailing terms from that rudder. So your rudder is really your core belief, right? Whatever you believe is your core.
She did that. Did you see that? She just segued in. Your rudder is like your core beliefs.
Absolutely. And so, things in the environment always reflect how you may feel about it. But you have to have your beliefs and your rudder to guide you to your destination.
I love this. Wait a minute. Quick sailboat shot. Christian De Lasario is here. So, I got to give him at least a moment of photo fantasy. So your rudder is like your core beliefs. And when we start our journey, often our hand is more closely attached to that rudder/core beliefs. But as a sailor, we can never lose that feedback, that connectivity to our rudder, or we'll end up off course.
Hi, Joe.
There's Joe. Joe's like, I like this sailing leadership lesson. We need to get these on video.
That's awesome. No, it's so true. And I'll let you pick the expert because what this is about is and how strong you make that rudder is different sizes for different size boats. So as you become a better sailor and you work your way up into a larger boat, you get a bigger rudder so that it can help you.
Did you? I'm going to stretch that one out too.
Yeah.
So when we begin, often we try and pile on the biggest rudder on the smallest boat. We'll create all these beliefs and values and missions and visions. And if the rudder is too big for the boat, I assume that the boat just will oversteer the boat and end up in the rocks kind of mentality. So when you begin and you're learning this lesson, you're learning how to manage your rudder, smaller is better. And maybe the same principles apply in our core beliefs, that we have to find one small, clear core belief that we can hold on to with clarity and purpose long enough to master that before graduating and graduating and graduating to the next level. I love that. So when you began sailing or began leadership lessons, what was the smallest rudder/core belief that you knew that you wouldn't, no matter what storm you were in, it was this is the core belief you need to grab onto?
So my core belief is it's integrity, right? It's believing that you have the right intention to do whatever it is your goal is guiding toward. So the intention of starting to write a book about adding value. You're purposefully trying to figure out you to your destination, right? And so it more control over the whip, rudder. Then now you have this control that puts you further and push you further. And so my kind of is intentional add value.
I love that. So when you start any project, are you guys okay with the sound? It may be me with the setup. Getting a little buffering. Are you hearing me okay?
It's a little weird.
Okay, I don't know where the mic is on this one. So, oh, there we go. Maybe that will help. So, sorry, you guys. This is not like me sucking my thumb. I'm just trying to be better. When I did real TV, we actually had mics with little fuzzy things on them.
That's perfect.
Okay. So, your core value of intentionality, how did you start today with that as one, or how did you start today with your core value?
Oh, I love this. So there's a lot of things happening in our home, right? So if you wake up and I'm usually traveling, but today is the day that I get to be home on Friday. And so the intention was to wake up, and we have just redesigned our pantry to get ready for Thanksgiving. So the intention was
Who redesigns a pantry?
Clean things out, right? It's understanding what you actually need and starting to intentionally strategize on the junk in your life and clean things out. So you are on Facebook Live, you know.
Yeah.
Good morning, Mr. Joe.
Redesign the pantry. Yeah.
But we've had a lot of things happen that we can't control in our house this year. Plumbing and lighting and all kinds of things and driveways. But to intentionally say, I am going to redesign a pantry so it gives you a better system, right? It's all about creating better systems in your life. And so we cleaned everything out and started from fresh and put new shelves in. And so this morning it was, what are the things that need to stay and what are the things that need to go?
I hope you kept the chocolate.
I don't have that shelf anymore. I threw the chocolate out.
But what's interesting is when I was in a really challenging place in my past, when I had a lot of chaos going on and I was working with a coach at the time, they said, you need a beginning, middle, and end in your life. You have so many beginnings, so many middles, and some of these things will not have an ending for a very long time. And you need to intentionally find places in the course of the day, the course of the week, the course of the month, that you can see a beginning and middle and end start. And my nature is to be somebody who's very creative and always, building. And so I had to start something really simple and really small that I could literally within about an hour time go, oh my gosh, I started and there was a middle and now there's a finished product. So as crazy as cleaning out or organizing your pantry is, because I have kids, they just eat their way through it. We don't organize it. We lock it and pray that they don't find the key. The idea of saying, I need to find a place that I can create order in my life, in my home again, so that I can have a moment to begin from. That was really smart.
Yep, because I don't cook much, but when I do cook, I want to be able to find things. And we had stuff everywhere because we have a small kitchen area. And so it's about, learning anything about leadership is taking control, right? It's deciding that you're going to not let the chaos run your life and that you're going to take control over it. And so little by little, whether it be something that we decide or whether we have a water failure or a driveway that crashes in, you finally decide, hey, if I would approach this with a little bit a different intentionality, right? And if I decide that I'm going to have control over this situation, and how much control do I have, and what can I do to make it better? It's just breaking it down, like you said, to the very small things that you can do to create the systems that can make it successful.
So here's something that I think is interesting is that as I'm listening to you and you are actually planning ahead for Thanksgiving, but the idea that right now during this holiday season, like from now until sometime mid-February, is chaos. I mean, it's sheer chaos between families coming and going and traveling and shopping and just the energy of it. That you said, I've got to start finding little places to regain control so that I don't get swept up in the chaos.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
leadership lesson, if you're feeling out of control, lost in chaos, dysfunctional and discombobulated, is it clean out your pantry or just have a project that you can finish in a day?
Well, our pantry's small, so we can finish it in a day. but exactly, right? So it's maybe for people during the holidays, it's going through their linens and going through the bowls that they're going to use for Thanksgiving or whatever you can feel like you can manage and have a good result from, right? Because a lot of people are having families come in, or they're putting their regular decorations away and they're getting out all of their Christmas things. And so you can't get it all out, right? You have to decide what's important and what are the values to you. And so when one thing comes out, you have to put the other stuff away. And that's values system,
that
right?
was a really good leadership lesson too. When one thing comes up, you have to make a decision of what you're going to put away to make room for it. And I know for me personally, sometimes I just keep overfilling my plate, like the glutton at the Chinese Mexican buffet line that has like not only the plate full, but it's spilling onto the tray. And I end up not enjoying any of it, by the way. That in order for us to be prepared for what's coming next, sometimes we have to put the other stuff away. Or sometimes we at least have to say, I'm willing to put this away for now so that I can have this come into my life.
Exactly. And you have to have control over that. You have to intentionally plan instead of just saying, oh my gosh, this is chaos and I can't handle this. There's a lot of things that you can control if you just approach it the right way. So you have to really think into it, what's important, and then it helps you through that process so that you don't lose, kind of your energy towards it or your control over it.
And bringing it back to sailboats, because, all things are related to sailing. You can only pack so much stuff on a sailboat. And I remember well, anything you take out, you better put back, or you're going to be tripping over it in the middle of the night on a stormy, rocky boat.
Well, and the good thing is for us, we have to put it away every 6 months. So you can only pack on there what you really need, right? It's kind of like the movie Spaceballs. Only pack what you need to survive, right? And then the princess takes her major suitcases with her, 50 by 50 hair dryer because she only is taking what she needs to survive. but it is about intentionally packing the things that we need in life every day to be able to get to success, right? Do you have to evaluate the things in your life every day to say, is this useful? Is this helpful? Do I need it? Will it help me achieve my next phase or my next goal? And if not, you have to figure out a way to get rid of that easily. Either give it away or you throw it away and you don't come back to it.
Well, I think that's a really big thing, because I know I work with coaching clients that often are they're like right on that moment where they're going to begin to transform and change, and something new is going to happen. And they're so weighed down with everything that brought them there that they're afraid that if they let go of the old, they won't have anything to bring into the new. And it's like, wait a minute, you have to let go. You don't decorate Christmas with Halloween stuff. You got to put that stuff away, pack it away, thank it for what it brought into your life, the joy, the happiness, the decor. But now it's time to set that into the box so that you can begin to unpack what's coming next. So with that, I know that you have probably started to look into 2018. What is one thing that you're packing away and that you're preparing to open up in your next year?
Oh, my next year. So I am developing content for a book that I'm getting ready to think more into and write. And so I'm creating this space, right? I'm creating that space that I can go to every day and think into this and make sure that I have the time dedicated and intentionally follow this dream and follow this goal. I bought a journal recently, and so I've started to write in that, but now I'm creating a space in the house so that when I'm home, I can really go to that space and really accomplish what I need to in 2018. So that's
So
my
what did you have to pack?
plan.
What did you have to pack away to make that happen? And don't tell me Halloween or Christmas.
A lot of stuff that was in the way. Books, books that aren't effective anymore. Cookbooks. There are a lot of things in the house like shelving that just hold stuff, that you say, oh, I'm going to get to this, or I'm going to read this journal, or I'm going to read this magazine, right? Those are things that you're not home to do that. I'm not home to do those things that you think, oh, I'm going to go read all these magazines. So get rid of this stuff and create a space for yourself so that you can grow. Because what we tend to do is pack things around us that we feel like, oh, that gives us confidence, right? Those are things that I'm familiar with. And to me, it's been get rid of that so that I can create this space for myself.
I think what was really cool is, if you guys heard her, she said, get rid of the stuff and make room for yourself.
Yeah.
So often that we identify with the objects on the shelf that we've collected through our life. And I love asking that question of people because they'll often identify externally. But when I'm like, well, who are you? What are you? And they have a hard time seeing themselves because they're so attached to so much stuff. Sometimes it's emotional stuff. Sometimes it's mental stuff. Sometimes it's physical stuff, like my great granny's cookbook. It's like, yeah, really? Because, like, where do you buy a pound of lard nowadays to make bait? It's like I have one of those ancient cookbooks, and the food recipes I'm scared to try because that's probably what killed everybody off. So I love that. So what do you have coming up next as a class or as a teaching?
So I'm doing the 15 laws right now in a couple of different sections, and Diane Dick and I are leading a couple of these.
You have Diane in that class? She is incredible. She is a human encyclopedia of fun learning.
She is. She needs to be on your Fun Day Friday. She's awesome.
Well, she will be now that you told her she had to.
And so I just ordered during the Live to Lead, I ordered the Developing the Leader Within You, the 2.0. And so I am getting ready this week. I think it starts our learning and teaching from John Maxwell. So my intention is to open a class for January on Developing the Leader Within You. And so now I'm kind of looking and thinking into that and asking people about it. And so many people are interested because, it is all about developing yourself, right? You can do all these other great things and you can say, I want to be a leader of an organization and I have a lot of things coming at me at work, but it starts with you, right? It starts with us and understanding what our leadership qualities are and how to improve those. So I am super excited to learn the 2.0 book and then really get a group of people to learn it with me. Right? And let's walk through this journey and understand, what does 2.0 look like and feel like? We know what it is when updates come on the iPhone, but we've not experienced John Maxwell 2.0 book. So I'm really thrilled about it. He says 85% is rewritten. I'm like, what does that mean?
I think he should have just called it something else and called it a new book for his record. But, he's got a following, like a fan base, so I guess he had to honor that. So I'm going to probably be crashing into those classes as well. So make sure you post a way for everybody to find you after this, because I love the way you teach. I love your energy. I wish I had known about you and Diane doing something, because Diane, I'll say, I've got 10 people coming over for dinner. What should I do? And she can give me like 30 really creative, fun, simple, cheap ways of teaching and interacting, and she's a master of experiential learning. And I have tried to steal as much from her as I can and use it in the real world. So if you're partnered with her, you guys are rocking it. So I want to just close out with one more view for you. I had queued up a sailboat to come through, but apparently they're all drunken sailors somewhere sitting on their ship. No, let me just give you a little bit more sailboat here.
Oh, I love it. Eric, we're going to have to plan a leadership lesson on the lake, and you're going to have to come to Indiana, to the north side of the state, and fly into Chicago, come over to the boat, and
I think that would be fun, or we could do it from the toboggan slide at the park that I told you. So there's a little island way out there. It's not very big. I mean, it's like, it's a parking lot size island. But so a lot of people will sail over, because of the sailboats. So you'll dinghy over, have picnic, then get your sailboat and go out into the sea for the day. And that's what Uruguay is kind of like on a Friday afternoon. There's some big yachts anchored in. We get a lot of people from all over South America. A couple bigger yachts come down from Florida and, that side of the coast. I want to thank you. I'm trying to give you as much view as I can because it's probably going to snow this afternoon and you're going to be begging, you're going to be wishing your pantry still had chocolate.
No. I can go buy some.
Yeah. I want to thank you for joining me for Fun Friend Friday. I love this lesson of you've got to get rid of stuff to make room for new stuff. We've got to pack away the old stuff to make room for the new self. And that during the stressful times, find something, take control of it. It doesn't have to be some big monumental monster task. I mean, something as simple as cleaning out the pantry can give you a sense of stability and control again in your life that you can move forward from. Yep. And that when you start a journey, you need to be really, really in touch and evaluating that feedback of your core values, or the rudder, as your word was. And that as we grow, we can get bigger and deeper rudders to guide us on into bigger and deeper oceans. Exactly.
You always bring it back, Eric. You're always intentionally bringing it back. And I love it. And it's so true. But, the word rudder was so appropriate for me today. So I'm so glad that you picked that you wrote that down on the clover and we got to discuss it.
Well, I'm so glad you didn't pick some of the others because there was a good one, lighthouse. So I thought that would be easy. But I was like, oh, my God, if she picks the word dinghy, we're really in trouble.
No, that's a good one, too.
See, we could do it again. I'll just keep the words because I'm not going to tell you all of them. But I really sat and I had to study sailing last night to figure out words that could be both useful and non-useful and then scramble them up. So we have a couple more. Maybe we'll just make Diane do the sailing terms and she'll freak out. But no, I know Diane. I know what I will do with her on Fun Day Friday. I want to just quickly one more time, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you, everybody that came in and shared out the Fun Day Friday. We do this we may start doing this every Friday, depending on who's brave enough to step up. I apologize for holding my hand in front of my face, but I didn't bring a wind buffer, and I think this is providing better quality for everybody. So, but next time I'll just stay inside and make it a boring blank wall. Never.
No,
Dr. Kelly will not allow it. But so we do regular Success Monday and through Thursday, and Fun Day Friday is where I love to invite somebody who can add a new perspective to our success journey. So do me a favor, make sure you reach out, check in with Mel. She's got a bunch of classes coming up. Developing the Leader 2.0, I would put that on my project list for 2018. I am going to develop the leader within me, and I'm going to use John Maxwell's 2.0 class. And I would definitely say, take it from this woman because she can teach so well. I learned so much sitting in class with her, even if it is through Zoom. So thank you again, Miss Mel. I hope you enjoyed your sailboats.
It was wonderful. That was a really awesome Friday. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, everybody else. I will see you again on Monday. Don't forget to drop the... Oh, look, Joe's in there working. I know Joe just... You go, Joe. I will see you guys all later, and have a fantastic weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys. Thanks, Eric.